Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my Robinhood portfolio. Today I thought I would talk about another one of my day trades. A lot of you guys have been asking for more videos like this with my day and swing trading activity. So I thought I'd talk about a trade I did a couple days ago. I forgot to include on my last video. So I thought I'd take the opportunity and do it now. This is a stock, one of my first stocks on Robinhood actually, BOFI, Bank of the Internet. I bought this stock back when I first opened the account at about $17 or $18 or so. And in the middle here, you can see that just kind of a quick sidebar is something I don't like about Robinhood is that it doesn't take into consideration different tax lots. So not to get too in-depth here, I may actually put a video out about tax lots, but Robinhood simply sells off the first stock that you bought. So for example, if you were to day trade with a particular stock, but also wanted to keep some of the stock for a longer term buy and hold strategy, well, you'd want to go ahead and hold those first stocks you bought to get the preferred dividends as well as the preferred capital gains rates as well, long-term capital gains rates. But unfortunately, Robinhood just goes ahead and sells off the first stocks you bought. So if you were to buy the stock 10 times and maybe you wanted to hold half of those stocks for a buy and hold strategy, so 5 of them, and do some day trading with some other tax lots, well, unfortunately, Robinhood will just go ahead and sell off that first slot you bought. So you'd never be able to get a better capital gains rate because it keeps selling off your stock. And you can see that reflected here in my total return. My actual total return on this is about 50% or so. Let me pull up my spreadsheet here really quickly. I keep track of all my stocks on a spreadsheet for what I buy them and then what I sell them for. And I go ahead and take a look at the different tax lots. So when I do a swing trade, I essentially assume that the swing trade is the latest stock I bought, not the first stock I bought, if that makes sense, just for my own record keeping. But here in Robinhood, it doesn't really take that into consideration, which isn't a big deal for a lot of my stocks. But some of my stocks that I do some day and swing trading with, for example, Ford, which I've kind of quit doing some day trading with Ford because I want to get the stock held long enough for the preferred capital gains rates, long-term capital gains rates. So I've actually made about a 44% return on my money with the long-term stocks held in this account. You can see here in the middle, it just is simply saying 681. I'm up because, again, it's taking my first tax lots and selling those off rather than taking the tax lots that I'm doing for the buying and selling with, the day trading and swing trading with, if that makes sense. And I'll put out a little bit more complex video talking about what exactly a tax lot is. But one of my first stocks out on Robinhood, and you can see over the last week here, you can see this big drop here on the 25th. It was trading 26.30 or so, and then a day later, it's trading 23. And what happened here is on the 25th at 5 p.m., it came out with an earnings report, and I might put out a video about this as well. So Bank of the Internet had its largest ever net profit on the 25th, and then on the morning of the 26th, it just dropped 10% or so. 9.6, there we go, 10.82%, almost 11% actually. So you can kind of see that big drop there. After posting the day prior, during after-hours trading, the biggest ever net profit. I don't quite understand that with some of the market changes here, but I thought it'd be a good time to get into a little bit of a swing trade. So I picked up I think 140 shares at 23.84, and then I went ahead and sold off just at 24.10. It wasn't too aggressive with that price point, but made a little swing trade there. Did make a lot of money. Only made, let's see if I got my spreadsheet up again. I just closed it out. I made, bear with me 1 second here, $36.40 on that swing trade. But I could have made a lot more if I would have held for a little bit more aggressive price. I bought in at 23.84. If I would have sold off, 25 or so, that would have been a very nice swing trade. That would have been about a $200 or so swing trade. You can see the trade on the bottom here. If I go down to my history, you can see on the 26th there, I bought 140 shares at 23.84, and then I went ahead and sold off that same 140 shares at 24.10. But again, Robinhood doesn't take that in consideration when it sells off these shares. It's taking my first tax lot. So it's not selling off the 140 shares I bought that same day. It's selling off the however many shares I bought 6 months ago. So that's the problem with Robinhood with regards to the tax lots. And one comment, one viewer did mention that you can call Robinhood to specify tax lots, I believe, but I think that's just kind of a cumbersome process. And if you're doing day trading, I'm not sure how they're going back after the fact and crediting your account for those additional tax lots or different tax lots, excuse me. Not sure how they're doing that, but I think it's possible. I think it might be somewhat complex with regards to the accounting here, but anyway, I went ahead and did a little bit of a swing trade there, and the big thing behind this was there's no reason for this stock to drop by that amount of money. Dropping 10% on record profit. If we go down to the earnings reports here, if my phone doesn't keep bugging out here on us, if we go down to the revenue, you can see here in the earnings call, we'll go ahead and pull this up. It really goes into detail about the net earnings of this company. The best ever net earnings. And yes, it has some litigation against it from a class action lawsuit, which I think is completely frivolous. But you can see here, if we go down, this is kind of a cool website, by the way, snl.com, kind of going over a little bit of the background information on companies. You can see here, on the 25th earnings release, Bank of the Internet Holdings Incorporated announces a record net income. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, and it really doesn't have anything to do with that action lawsuit because that has been going on for several weeks now with no change in the price. The price did trend down a bit, I guess you could say. There was an impact from that on the price of the stock, but that 10%, 11% drop was all because of the earnings report, which was showing net profit at an all-time record. So again, there's probably some nuances in that information, but thought there was an opportunity for a swing trade there. Went ahead and pulled the trigger, made about $30 to $40. Could have made a lot more. I could have made $190 to $200 if I was a little bit more aggressive with my day trade. Yeah, did a little bit of a day trade there, and I've been doing that quite repeatedly with a number of my stocks. If there are stocks that I think are good long-term buys, but they trend down 5 or 6% one day without any real reason, I go ahead and buy a few shares of that stock. And if it trends up right away, I go ahead and sell off for a nice little day or swing trade. And if not, I'm more than happy to keep those stocks long-term. So again, key point of my day in swing trading is that I only do this with stocks that I'm comfortable holding for the long term. I don't do this with penny stocks or stocks that I think are very volatile. I do this with quality companies that I can hold the stock, and if I can't get out of the trade, not a big deal. I might lose some money over the short term, but over the long term, I'll always have an increase in my investment. So that's how I've been doing my day in swing trades. Another day trade with Bank of the Internet here. Very good swing trade on trend back in the stock, which really wasn't based on anything. Again, there might be some details within that earnings report that had some investors a little bit wary. That's why they sold off, but good swing trade. And kind of with that, I'll end the video. As with my videos, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Again, if you guys have any good video ideas, let me know. I still have a backlog that I'm getting to. Hopefully over the weekend, I'll put out a few more videos, maybe a couple a day rather than the one per day to catch up. But again, the whole idea behind this video series is to learn about investing. So if you guys have any good questions for me, let me know. And or topics to read up about, let me know as well. I'm a neophyte, new investor myself, so I always appreciate new things to read up on and research. So kind of with that, I'll end the video, and we'll see you guys next time.